Hello everybody, welcome to today's video from Greenhorn where we are going over how to use our best budget free and pro version. This is linked below, go click it, download it, and follow along. So first, when you open up the Google Sheet, once you've downloaded it, you'll notice that everything is locked. That is on purpose. We want to make sure that only you and you alone are using the budget. So first you're going to click File, make a copy. This allows you to have your very own copy of the budget. Everything will work the same, but only you have access to this. Greenhorn doesn't have access, nor does anyone else. But now that it is yours, you can edit everything you want. You can type wherever you want. However, something important to note is now that you can do that, we want to make sure you're only editing things that are in the white background with the black border. Those are areas you can input numbers or text to make sure that you don't break any formulas. So we use the 50-30-20 method, which is 50% on needs, 30% on wants, and 20% on savings. If you don't really know what that means, we have an article linked in the description below that goes into further detail. But essentially, it means needs would be anything you have to survive for that month. Your rent, your water, your electricity, so on and so forth. But now you can customize these in case you have, let's say, pets and you need to get their food every month. You can do that for all these categories. They all can change to whatever you want. But let's jump right into the actual budget. So how this budget works, a lot of it is projected versus your actual. So for your projected, you're going to want to go into your income and start with what you expect your paychecks to be each month. Let's say you get paid bi-weekly and you put in that $1,500 each month, and you're also doing some dog walking on the side, making $100 you expect. Then going into your needs, you do the same thing. You can expect your rent to be $900 each month, your water is not $550 each month, and so on and so forth. We're not going to do the whole budget, but this is probably going to be one of the harder parts if this is your very first time ever using a budget, really being strict and understanding what you've spent in the past and where you should be spending. This gets easier as you budget more and more. And same thing, we'll just scroll a little bit further into wants. We'll do another $50 on dining and $20 on shopping. And lastly, we'll have emergency savings as well, because I'm really hoping you are all saving. It is so important to save, especially when you are early in career and younger, compounding interest, but we're not going to get into all that right now. And then we're going to go into the actual expenses. So with these expenses, it's gonna not be fun these first couple times. You have to track every single one of your spending. Every time you swipe a card, something leaves your bank account, you want to be aware of it. And this sounds tedious, and it is, but it makes you so much more cognizant of what you're doing with your money, and that's really going to help you save and earn more. So we'll just start with rent, and you type in the expense name, so rent, landlord, and this is the rent category, and the amount paid we know is always going to be that $900. You do the date it left your account and your source. So this could be your bank account or your credit card. We'll just call it bank right now, but we know it's always going to be rent for that money. Let's say our electricity bill, it's winter, it's cold, and we're paying a little bit more than we would want to. So we pay that to the company. And electric is going to be, let's say, $130. So now we've overspent by $30. You don't want to see that. And you start to see it up here as well. So similarly, just so you can get a better grasp, you have the $1,500 in your income. And then at the end of the month, you realize that you didn't walk as many dogs as you thought you would. You only got $60. So you see that difference in there as well for income and expenses. So we're going to keep going, and let's do some wants. So we know we put some money in the dining category, and we bought a cookie. We got this cookie, let's just say from Chick-fil-A. And now we scroll down into dining. And that cookie was, just for the sake of it, we'll call it $25. So now you can see that we have that $25 out of the $50. We only have $25 more to spend this month. You're going to want to keep putting whatever date it is. That's just to make sure in the future, if you have discrepancies with your credit card company or anything else, or you just want to know how much you spent in one day, it's really important to be able to see that. And lastly, I know it's not an actual expense, but you're going to have your savings in here also. It's just easier to see where all of your money is leaving your bank account and where it's going. So let's say this is for your emergency fund, and it's going to a high yield savings. It better be. And then last, here that is, and then you got another $60 there. So you see the $60 went in, and we got $100 that we wanted to, so we still got 40 more to go. So that's the gist of the actual putting in your income, putting in your expenses. And you can do this 15 minutes once a week. It goes by a lot faster that way. Or you could wait till the very end of the month and see how you're doing, but obviously that doesn't really help you budget until the next month. And the other really cool thing about this is we go over the 50-30-20 rule with visuals. You can have your projected versus actual with the total percentages and a pie chart that shows you everything, as well as all of your spending categories put together. You can see how much of your paycheck is going to your savings, your dining, your electricity, and so on and so forth. And lastly, we have this little section on when your bills are due and when they need to be paid and how much they will be. I know some people forget on, your credit card's due this day and your electric's due this day, and just making sure you have everything really leveled out. You could do that here. So, your Wi-Fi is due on the 15th. And it's going to be $60. So really just making sure you have those automatic payments ready to go. But that is the gist of the entire budget. If you have any questions, please write them in the comments below. I'll happily respond. Go check out our other free resources we have for resumes, habit trackers, cover letters, everything else. But just want to wish you all a warm regards.